Welcome again. My name is Lisette Zarate. I am the Chief Marketing Officer of the We're All Human Foundation. Very excited to be here and to watch since day one this beautiful project of Hispanic Stars Rising, this series that we are today launching the 4th volume. So I want to share a bit of the goal of this Hispanic Stars Rising series with you, which is to continue inspiring and empowering the Hispanic community by showcasing these personal journeys and achievements of diverse role model Hispanic stars in this 4th volume, thereby fostering a sense of pride, motivation, and aspiration among the next generations of Hispanic individuals to excel and contribute to society while embracing their Latinidad. A big shout out and thank you to Fig Factor Media, our publisher and partner with this 4th volume. And of course, to Jacqueline Camacho Ruiz, the Hispanic Stars Rising publisher. Jacqueline is a visionary social entrepreneur that has created an enterprise of inspiration. Her keen sense of service, coupled with her vision to bring good to the world, have led her to create 2 successful award-winning companies, 2 nonprofit organizations, published over a dozen books, created many products, and held dozens of events around the world in just the past decade. She is the author of 33 books, publisher of 47 anthologies with thousands of stories, and one of the few Latina sports airplane pilots in the United States. So the floor is yours, Jackie. Welcome, and thank you all for being here.
Thank you. How exciting to be here. Before we begin, I just want us to take a moment. I always say that life is measured in micro moments of happiness, of joy. And I think what we're about to do today is one of those moments. And I just want us to take a deep breath to ground ourselves in this magical celebration of you, of your stories. So if you can welcome me and just take it all in. When I survived cancer, I knew that there was one way to leave a legacy in this world. And that one way for me was publishing books. So I embarked on this amazing journey. And today, it just fulfills me with so much joy to know that through this incredible series and through the trust of Claudia Romo Edelman and her entire team, Lisbeth, Yali, Michelle, everyone that is here, working tirelessly behind the scenes to make this happen with our team. All that we go through leads us to this macro moment of celebration. And it's about you. It's about your stories. So imagine the 4th volume, almost 400 stories with thousands and thousands of connections and legacies. That is what we're celebrating today. And that's why sometimes, I always say that we need to stop and smell the roses to say, these stories represent your incredible journey, your challenges, your adversities, everything that you had to face, all the doubts that you might have had in this journey to get to today and say, someone believes in me and believes in my story. And because of that, I can give permission to others to do the same. So I have in my journey found that there's no more powerful way to build a community than through storytelling. And today you welcome this beautiful opportunity to your life, to your communities, to your ecosystem to now have that story out in the world. And now you're part of the Hispanic Stars community. You're part of our beautiful cohort of authors that have said, yes, I have something to say. I have magic to share, and I'm here. And I feel proud of my heritage. I feel proud of our community. And this is what we're doing today. We're celebrating you. And, the beauty here is that we continue to be endorsed and to be supported by amazing leaders in our community. And this year, we're so proud not to have one forward, but we have 2 from amazing people that have paved the way for our community for many years. And I am really delighted to highlight 2 remarkable Hispanic stars who have graciously contributed forwards to this year's edition of the book, Dolores Huerta and Diana Flores. Their presence as forward authors is especially meaningful to me, and in previous editions, our forwards were men. For those familiar with incredible journeys, let me share a glimpse of these inspiring stories. Dolores Huerta has dedicated nearly 7 decades to activism. At the tender age of 22, she embarked on the path of organizing farm workers and played a pivotal role in co-founding what would later become the United States, the United Farm Workers. Her influence has reverberated through every major movement in the United States, from labor rights to civil rights to voting rights and feminism. The groundbreaking work of Dolores Huerta has served as a blueprint for generations of activists. She has also been a staunch advocate for feminism, relentlessly battling discrimination, elevating awareness, opening doors, and empowering women to assume public office. On the other hand, we have Diana Flores, a world flag football champion. As a captain and quarterback of the Mexican national team, Diana has achieved a remarkable list of victories that have solidified her reputation as a global inspiration for female athletes. She boasts the title of world champion and is a 2-time national college champion with Tecnológico de Monterrey. Moreover, Diana has been a key collaborator with both national and international football leagues, working tirelessly to promote the sport's global reach. In doing so, she has shattered cultural and gender barriers, paving the way for a more inclusive future. The inclusion of these extraordinary women as our forward authors exemplifies the diversity and strength of our Hispanic community across generations. Their stories serve as beacons of hope and empowerment for all, and we're honored to have them as part of the Hispanic Stars Rising, Volume 4. Give them a big round of applause, wherever they are. Thank you so much, Diana. Thank you so much, Dolores Huerta, for your contributions. And now, I would like to begin by sharing. We have 4 amazing authors, actually 5 amazing authors that will be sharing part of their stories today. And I would like to begin with Maria. But let me tell you about Maria. Let me find her here because she is an amazing woman. Beautiful. Let me just make sure. Okay, great. So let me introduce Maria. Maria Aguilar Rocha. She's an attorney advisor at the Community Futures Trading Commission, formerly worked at the United States Department of Justice, handling high-profile financial crime cases. She also practiced law at Caden Munchin Rowland LLP and Baker Botts LLP, specializing in complex litigation and compliance. Maria holds a Juris Doctor and a Master of Laws in Securities and Financial Regulation from Georgetown Law, along with a bachelor's degree in political science from the University of California in Los Angeles. And with that, Maria, welcome to the stage.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Lisette, and thank you everyone for being here. I also want to thank the Hispanic Star for hosting this event. The work that this organization is doing to showcase the accomplishments of our community and to show que sí se puede is tremendously important for the continuous advancement of people of Hispanic heritage. I'm excited to be a part of this book because I hope that my story inspires and motivates others to take risks in pursuit of their goals. Just like our ancestors and our immigrant parents took a chance when they came to this country in hopes of providing us with a better future, it is on us to continue to pave the way for future generations and to ensure that we are creating a more inclusive and equitable world for all of us to live in. So my story is titled Representing Vulnerable Communities and Breaking Down Generational Barriers. Here we go. Being born to low-income, Spanish-speaking Mexican immigrant parents with only an elementary school education, the probability that I would attend a top law school and become an attorney seemed fairly unlikely. But it proved to be the very circumstance that shaped me into the person I am and the profession I chose to pursue. For those who are children of immigrants, it will not be shocking if you served as an interpreter and translator, bargaining agent, and sometimes even legal advocate, all during your childhood years. My experience was no different. My parents spoke only Spanish when they arrived in the United States, and while they labored to remain within Spanish-speaking circles, that was not always possible. A phone call or interaction in English sparked tremendous anxiety in them, and they often rushed for my assistance. At an early age, I learned to be their representative in uncomfortable situations. It was a role that I cherished because of the impact I realized I could have on their lives. From then on, I became obsessed with being the best advocate I could be for them and others in similar circumstances. A pivotal moment that put me on the trajectory toward becoming an attorney occurred when I was in middle school. A former teacher who also taught a legal studies course asked me if I would be interested in joining the class. Until then, although I was passionate about advocacy, I had not considered a career in law. At that time, no one in my family had pursued a college degree, definitely not law school, and I barely knew what an attorney did. But everything changed once I joined the class and was chosen to be a trial attorney in a mock trial competition. As I sifted through the evidence, examined the witnesses, and delivered my arguments, I realized that becoming an attorney was exactly what I wanted to do. It was a profession that would provide me with the best skill set and platform to advocate for vulnerable communities and bring about much needed change. Through intense hard work, determination, and perseverance, I ultimately attended and graduated from Georgetown Law with a Juris Doctor degree and a Master of Laws in Securities and Financial Regulation. As an attorney, I have been able to work on a wide range of cases impacting vulnerable communities across the United States and abroad, including victims of financial fraud, immigrant families facing deportation, and indigent persons combating the criminal justice system. As challenging as the profession of attorney can be, it has been the most rewarding experience due to the impact of my work on marginalized people and the ability to influence the development of the law in a manner that is more just and equitable. The road to achieving your dreams and excelling in your profession may be difficult as a first-generation person, but the privilege to represent vulnerable communities and the opportunity to break down generational barriers will serve as the fuel that keeps you moving forward. Thank you.
Big round of applause. Thank you so much, Maria. How inspiring. These are the type of stories that you'll find in this incredible book and all the other volumes. Thank you for everything you've accomplished and for continuing to elevate our community. I would like to bring to the stage Alisa Silva Raffi. Let me tell you about her. She is an elementary school teacher at Chicago Public Schools, dedicated to supporting multilingual learners. She holds a master's degree in curriculum and instruction with an ESL endorsement and is pursuing a leadership PhD. She mentors new teachers, serves as a virtual instructional coach, and chairs elementary SIG for ITBE. Alisa has received a special recognition award as the 2023 Those Who Excel and Teacher of the Year awardee from the Illinois State Board of Education. Without further ado, please welcome Alisa Silva Raffi to the stage.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Thank you for this opportunity, Hispanic Star, and I'm honored to be in this room with all of you. My story is about my very first experience on Capitol Hill advocating for multilingual education. According to the National Center for Education Statistics, there are over 5 million students who are English learners in our public schools, many of whom are Latino students. This is to be celebrated and valued. And as our Secretary of Education, Dr. Cardona says, being bilingual is our superpower. So my story is titled, My Voice Matters, My Students Matter, Advocating for Multilingual Learners. I packed my bags and jumped in my minivan with my daughters Ayla and Alana in the back seat, my husband Ashan driving, and our adorable lizard, a bearded dragon named Leo. We were off to Washington, D.C. A few months earlier, I had received an email about attending the TESOL International Association Policy Summit. At the end of the summit, educators would have the opportunity to go to Capitol Hill to advocate for multilingual education. I cannot explain my overwhelming feeling as I saw this opportunity, as it was as if someone was telling me I was meant to go. I'm an advocate for my students and families in the classroom every day, but part of me knew that I wanted to take that passion and advocate for them and all multilingual learners nationwide. The imposter syndrome definitely kicked in. I'm just a fourth grade teacher from Chicago. I'm not a principal. I'm not a superintendent. Who am I to go to Washington, D.C. and speak to legislators about education? We arrived and drove straight to the Lincoln Memorial. I watched as my girls rode scooters down the National Mall. Being there with my family just felt right. The summit experience was life-changing. It was inspiring to be with other advocates of multilingual education. I was paired up with Dr. Gina Johnson-Wells from Northeastern University, and I can't thank her enough for taking me under her wing. Then came the day when we went to Capitol Hill, and I'll never forget that feeling. It felt inspiring to be in the buildings and watch the hustle and bustle of important business going on around me. Again, the imposter syndrome set in. Why am I here? I'm just a fourth grade teacher from Chicago. It was time for the first meeting. We sat down and I was asked where I was coming from. I was so nervous, kind of like I am right now. I was so nervous and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to be natural and be myself. I told the legislative assistant that I drove in my minivan with my family and my pet lizard to advocate for my students. He instantly softened. He asked me about the drive and Leo the lizard, and I relaxed. I shared statistics and trends about why we need to fund and support multilingual learners. And then I just started to talk about my students. I shared stories about what I do with them every day in my classroom and about their lives, and why the federal government has a responsibility to support the students I teach every single day. After each meeting, I felt a little more comfortable. My voice became more comfortable, and it felt like a natural call to action. I was asked what I needed for my students. I was asked what my families needed. And then I realized I'm the expert in this room. I'm the educator. I felt empowered and a responsibility. That day helped me realize that my voice matters. I can use it outside of my school community as well. My voice matters and my students matter. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. How inspiring. Please use your emojis. We're emoji capable in this event. So if you feel inspired, use them. This is the magic of the stories. And thank you so much, Alyssa, for your beautiful story and for opening up that perspective. I think you gave permission to a lot of us to dream bigger with sharing that. Thank you. Maria, you too, you're amazing too. Everybody is amazing. I'd like to bring to the stage Alejandra Torres. Let me tell you about her. She is a skilled creative copywriter with a background in communications and education. She has worked as a content editor, copywriter, copy manager, and teacher of reading, writing, and professional communications. With advanced writing focused degrees and a keen eye for detail, Alejandra's talent lies in crafting compelling content that resonates with audiences. Her writing portfolio spans B2B and B2C, startups, e-commerce, elected officials, nonprofits, and professionals. Alejandra's guiding principle is to write in a conversational style, effectively engaging and expanding her clients' audiences. And with that, please help me welcome Alejandra Torres to the stage.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much. It is such a pleasure to be here today. And thank you so much for that introduction. Yes, so my favorite pastime and my greatest strength is writing. So it is just so immensely valuable for me to be here today with you all, with writers like yourselves, and people celebrating this wonderful, beautiful heritage that we all share. This is going to be a life-changing experience for me, and I just thank you all for having me. My story is about the division of identity that we sometimes feel in our lives. I am Mexican American. My parents are from Mexico, and I was born in Los Angeles. And growing up, there was a lot that I had to navigate in identities. And one of the things that I navigated most was my name, Alejandra. And I'm sure many of you have experienced it where people mispronounce your name or try to give you a different name that's just a little bit easier to pronounce. And I did that myself when I first started college. I said, I'm going to make my name easy. So I changed it to Alex. And I did that for 2 years until I realized I'm not Alex, I'm Alejandra. So thank you for letting me share my story with you. I'll get started. My parents gave me a simple yet strong name, Alejandra Garcia. I was born to Mexican parents who crossed the border in their youth, immigrants in a strange land. Born with brown hair, brown skin, brown eyes, the first name Alejandra and last name Garcia are appropriate. At first glance, I'm just like the name I was given, simple and common. But at second and third and fourth, it is discovered there is more to me in my name. How often, though, do people actually take a closer look? Being Mexican-American is just as uncomfortable as it sounds. A clear division of identity is always present. One of the common challenges is not knowing how to answer the question, where are you from? Simple question, right? Not for me. Are people asking where I was born? Do they want to know my race, where I currently live? Depending on the question, my answer will be different. This question, though, is minor to bigger challenges. I spent my childhood in California, a liberal state where we could feel safe. Mexicans, Blacks, Middle Easterns, and whites all got along in school. Our classrooms were colorful and our diversity was rich. Then my family and I moved to a small Texas town where it felt like segregation still existed. I even joke around saying I didn't know I was Mexican until I came to Texas, as it felt like I was reminded constantly by my peers. I didn't like this division and refused to only socialize with my Mexican peers. Seeing that I was friends with white people, the Mexican students started saying I was whitewashed, like bread, brown on the outside, white on the inside. Later in college, my professors wanted me to join their organizations, run for leadership, and apply to scholarships. I was ecstatic until they would say things like, as a young Latina, you could win, or we need more people like you in our club. Suddenly, the integrity of my merit would be gone. People often think that I'm more comfortable with Spanish than English. Not so. My first words were Spanish, but around age 7 onward, it has always been English. For many years, I stopped speaking Spanish completely and was accused by my family and others of having denied my heritage. But English is meaningful to my identity, especially in writing. If my culturally proud Mexican parents can admire that, then so should the world. I think of my own children, young and hopeful, not yet aware of the boxes people will try to fit them in. Maybe they will find themselves in similar situations, and yet I haven't lost hope. I think back on my name, how common it is, but also how strong it sounds. My name is Alejandra Garcia, and my identity is full of contradictions. But then again, so is everyone's. We all just need to take a closer look. Also, my name is now Alejandra Torres, and I would like to thank my husband for pushing me to doing this today.
You know, they say that your name is the sweetest word in any language, and I think we should all be very proud of, you know, phonetically and empathetically and authentically and all of that, sharing our name the way that we want to be called. And so I applaud you for that, Alejandra. Thank you so much for that inspiration. And now it is my pleasure to bring to the stage Eliud Jimenez. Eliud Jimenez, he's the Director of Human Resources for FC Dallas LLC, an MLS sports team with over 20 years of global HR and talent acquisition experience across various industries, including professional sports, 3PL, pharmaceuticals, insurance, oil and gas, and nonprofit sectors. He holds a bachelor's and a master's degree specializing in immigration law and employment law from UT Austin, along with a legal interpreter certification from the same institution. So please, with that, allow us to welcome to the stage Eliud Jimenez.
So I'll tell you why I decided to do this story is I'm actually the 5th generation born in the US, openly gay. I get choked up for the simple fact how hard it is to get into this industry, okay? I was raised picking cotton for 15 years until I graduated from high school. So to be in the sports industry, especially soccer, football, basketball, it's pretty hard, especially being Latinos in administration. So my goal was to get into the industry, change the demographics, start helping individuals get into the sports industry by guiding them and helping them build their resumes to set them apart. The other thing is being openly gay. People are ridiculed, said things, meaningful things, but at the same time, that I didn't give up. Okay, so I played football, played basketball, ran track my whole time during high school. So here's my story. Born and raised in Health Center, Texas, I quickly discovered my love for sports. But as one of 12 siblings in a non-denominational Latino family, my life seemed forced down a different path. I started working in the campo, many of you who know what that is, the fields, at the age of 5, picking cotton and vegetables during the summer breaks to help maintain the family household. I quickly felt the overbearing weight of trying to survive as a low-income immigrant family and often saw my dream of working in sports as a growing impossibility. When I eventually entered high school, I only felt more marginalized when I came out as a gay Latino in rural conservative Texas. I knew becoming a professional athlete would be the hardest path into professional sports. So I aimed to work for a professional sports team instead. Whether it was soccer, basketball, or track and field, I always found myself drawn to the thrill of competition, the camaraderie of teammates, and the dedication required to excel in their chosen field. I quickly realized that a college education would be my gateway into the field. After high school, I enrolled at Dallas Baptist University, received my bachelor's degree, and later enrolled at Keller Grad School, where I received a master's degree in human resource. As years went by, I wanted to complement my degrees to set myself apart and received 2 paralegal specializations, which were immigration law, employment labor law, and then received a certificate as a legal interpreter from UT Austin and worked multiple jobs day and night just to put myself through. In time, I lived by my mantra, work hard, then dream big, and secured a post-grad job as Director of Human Resources. In 2021, my pathway to professional sports opened when I got a call from a headhunter who asked if I was interested in interviewing to be the Director of Human Resources for FC Dallas, LLC, an MLS sports team. Concerned that I would not be chosen because of my LGBTQ identity, to my surprise, I decided to go for the opportunity anyway, recognizing it as my one chance to break into the industry for not just myself, but other gay Latino and immigrants like me. I was stunned when I got the position and have set out to turn my role into one where I not only lead human resource operations, but inspire the trailblaze a path for others who are minorities like me. With a passion for both sports and LGBTQ advocacy, I become a driving force in breaking down barriers and promoting inclusivity with the traditional heteronormative world of athletics. Doing so has come with its fair share of challenges. Being openly gay has caused me to face resistance and prejudice, yet rather than succumbing to societal expectations, I have chosen to embrace my true self, find strength in my authenticity, and show others that facing challenges and taking risks creates new opportunities to challenging norms, promote acceptance, and build a more inclusive future. By fearlessly sharing my story, I hope to inspire others to never lose faith and work tirelessly to pursue their dreams, regardless of race, sexual orientation, or social economic status. Such qualities should never limit one's potential or hinder one's dreams. Just as a young illuminist working in the campo feared it might. And so that's how I ended up in sports. I was running a little late because I will be heading the volunteer program for the World Cup in 2026 here in Dallas. So that is something big. So I was meeting with the Hunt family, which owned both the Kansas City Chiefs and also owned part of the Chicago Bulls and FC Dallas.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you. Work hard, dream big. Love that. I will keep that for my vision board. Thank you so much, Eliud, for sharing and for being so candid and so open, and sharing your vulnerability. I mean, that really takes a lot to do that, and And that's why, storytelling is so powerful, right? That we can pave the way for others. And I like to give a special shout out to someone that is in the room, my COO at Fig Factor Media, Gabby Hernandez. She has been my right hand. I call her my right wing, because we elevate dreams, through storytelling, and we wouldn't be able to do all this magic without her magic at Fig Factor Media. So special shout out to her. And now I'd like to open it up to all of you. So but before that, let's give a big round of applause to Maria, to Elisa, Alejandra, Eliud. Let's celebrate you, because it takes a lot, to be in any forum. One thing is to write it, but the next thing is to not share this, in an environment like this, or on a stage, like this, so powerful. So thank you so much for being brave. And I'd like to open it up to some of you, and we obviously are going to use our emoji feature to do that, to raise our hands. But the question is, what does it mean to you to share your story? What is that meaning? Let's see. Maria?
Thank you, Jackie. And for me, it has been an absolute honor to be able to share my story in this forum. Because as I mentioned, growing up as a first-generation person, it was always difficult for me to find role models who shared my background and who had also chosen to pursue a career as an attorney. So I think it's incredibly important for there to be representation in all industries, so that people of Hispanic background are able to have others out there who they can relate to and identify with, and who can essentially provide that roadmap for how to get into those positions. So thank you again. It's just a tremendous honor.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Clara Lucia. Clara Lucia Jaramillo career. She's actually my business coach. Just such a powerful, if you haven't had a chance to connect with her, please do. She's absolutely amazing. And she actually helped me overcome a stage fright of being in front of 3,400 people. And to this date, I do what she told me. She said to put the photo of myself as a little girl on my home screen, so that I would have compassion with this little girl, and I wouldn't be, and it still makes me emotional, I wouldn't be afraid of being on stage and who had the imposter syndrome. So I still have that. It's been since February of this year, and I still have that little picture of me as a little girl. So thank you so much, Clara Lucia.
Wow.
Yep.
Thank you, Jackie. That was very generous of you. Well, first of all, I'm just so honored to be here among you all. And to answer the question, I think I've never thought I would be considered an author, although I love writing and I love communicating and I love storytelling. So I think for me, this was not only an opportunity to bring my story out there and to share it in a vulnerable way, but it was personally to overcome a fear, the fear of self-doubt, the fear of not being good enough, or not smart enough or strong enough, or however many not enoughs that we can, tell ourselves. And it was really to overcome those limiting, beliefs that I have had, and they have become sometimes, kind of like these big monsters under my bed. So this was really a way for me to overcome that fear and to embrace my story, the ups and downs, the beautiful, the ugly, the painful, the messy, to embrace that and to have a moment of reflection and pause as I recalled what it has been to be here in this country, what it has been for myself personally, professionally, but also the legacy that I am creating, so that once I'm gone from this, planet, at the end, I could, look back and say, I left my print, I left my little, my little contribution to those around me. So it has been just an incredible experience, and I'm really, really grateful. Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you, Clara Lucia. Thank you for sharing your love, with the world. Miguel Castillo, welcome to the stage.
Hola, thank you for having me here, and thank you for those very inspiring stories. Very, very powerful. For me, I guess for me as an immigrant, a former migrant farm worker, it's more of a journey of my dad that he always wanted to go to college but never could. So I do remember being the first one graduating from college, and to me, I do remember these words that he mentioned. Miguel, a veces el camino es muy largo y a veces se requiere varias generaciones en llegar. Back then, I didn't know what he meant. I just knew he was happy, he was crying, and he was happy for me. But now, if you remember the movie, I think on that's coming out on with Jose Hernandez, I believe, the Monarch Butterfly, that sometimes it takes generations to finish a journey. So to me, that was my inspiration. And I always, wherever I go, I'm always have a picture of my dad. That was when he was in the Mexican military. So to me, that was my inspiration. Of course, my dad and my mom that made the sacrifices coming to this country, and him working as a bracero farm worker and having a dream of giving us a better life. It was not easy. We went through a lot, but it was very, very inspiring. Also, the other thing also that for me was difficult to come out and share this story because, poverty is trauma, and, you're poor migrant, people make fun of you. So I had to find a way to navigate through that. But one of the persons that really inspired me to share the story was, again, my dad passed away from COVID, and then it was horrible. It was not easy. So that really inspired me to share his story. But also, I do want to thank the person that inspired me to be vulnerable and share the story. And as part of leadership, I do want to thank my amazing and beautiful best friend and wife that inspired me. When she shared her story, she's like, you got to share your story, Miguel. So again, this is very, very powerful through stories that we share and honoring the people that made those sacrifices for us. So thank you to all of you. And I'm here because of, those people that were before me. Gracias por tenerme aquí.
It's beautiful. We stand on the shoulder of giants, right? And we hear that a lot. And, and it's this common theme that I'm hearing today with Alejandra Torres, sharing how her husband inspired her to say, yes, I want to share this. And Miguel, you sharing how, your wife was pivotal to say, you know what, you have something to say. And how beautiful is that we have people around us that believe in us, sometimes more than we believe in ourselves, and that's it's beautiful to create this type of community where you can say that to each other, because we see the beauty in somebody else, and sometimes we forget about our own. I'd like to bring Glenda Valero to the stage. I know it probably says Glenda, but I see some students, or I see a table, or I see something there. Would you like to share some words? I see you have an entire audience. Oh my God, Glenda, so good to see you. I think we can't hear you. Maybe I know you're not muted, but I think the audio on the computer. Glenda is doing amazing things too. I mean, all of you. It's like, how do we measure? How do we measure the impact of the stories? Well, they kind of figure it out. I want to bring to the stage Sofia Angelica, and then Glenda will come back to you in a moment if you want to, so that we can you say something and see if we can hear you now? Yeah, it's I think it's connecting to the audio. So well, that connects. Sofia Angelica, welcome to the stage.
Hi, yes, my camera is currently not functional, but
we see your beautiful photo, so
pretend the face is talking. No, I would just like to say that it's an honor to be a part of this incredible book filled with amazing stories. I've always dreamt of becoming a published author since I was little. I've always told my story through music, through the arts over the years, and traveling to do so, and fighting for social causes and anti-discrimination, especially as a Latina, but through music. So it's very interesting to be able to translate that to the page, and be able to share my experiences as a young adult growing up in this 21st century new kind of world, and to see all the amazing things that I feel that are to come. And it's just an honor to be a part of this and surrounded by so many amazing people and authors with so many amazing stories. So music has always been, I've always said, a way to be able to powerfully express your story. But I also feel that, of course, through writing and through sharing your story in general, you are able to relate to those around you. So it's an honor to be here.
Thank you. No, you're extremely talented, and now you can take your beautiful art to the copywriting, the actual content as well, and and make it well-rounded. Thank you so much for sharing the
Thank
story.
you.
And you're beautiful. Thank you.
Jackie,
And,
can you hear me?
yes, now I can hear you,
Okay,
Brenda.
great.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm trying to see the camera if you can hear here. Yeah, so I'm surrounded by a group of colleagues, family, friends, and I want to go back as to why I'm sharing my story. It's about resiliency. I've been trying to hold my tears since the beginning. So it's about resiliency. It's about the power of family. La familia, this is family. Lots happen in our ways, and sometimes we feel we're alone. You just have to look around. There's always someone else there who's struggling, who's been through it, who can help you, who's to lift you when the world is dark. And you're so thank you for the opportunity to write it, share it with others, and others will hear. Others will read, and we don't know the power of, like you said, Jackie, the stories, the reason I've been inspired by the stories shared today. And we're paving the way for others, showing the strength that we bring for others who are struggling, who are figuring it out, and those who have been through it can be powerful to say, you got this, keep pushing, you'll get better. Faith is there, friends are there, family is there, and yourself. Sometimes we underestimate the powers within us, and that's what I'm sharing in this story, and I hope others benefit from that.
That's so beautiful. I mean, let's give Glenda a round of applause. She had an entire audience. I love that. Thank you so much. I don't think there's a more beautiful way to extend our soul than to share the story and then share that with the next generation. How beautiful, I remember a 23-year-old Latina came to me one time. She's like, "You're the first Latina professional that I've met." And I'm like, "Oh, we have to change that like immediately." Right. And so there's all these amazing opportunities. Thank you, Glenda, for creating this space. And I'd like to bring to the stage Elise Padilla. Thank you for your patience.
Hello, thank you so much. I submitted my story to empower myself to be seen, to bring a voice to myself when I felt so quiet in so many other avenues of my life. I also submitted my story so that I could honor my ancestors and their voice, both past and the ancestors that are going to come from me, and to be able to model for my 2 young daughters that I can push myself outside of my comfort zone to succeed, that I can be strong, that I can persevere, I can be resilient, that I can be confident in the face of others, I can be powerful, but I can still be humble. By pushing myself out of my comfort zone, I'm able to model to them all of the amazing things that they can be. And I get choked up because the power of being here in this group is incredible. And I just want to say thank you for the amazing opportunity. I've always wanted to be a published author, to share my story, but the space of vulnerability isn't something that is taught within my culture and my community. And so being here to use my voice and to share my story in order to be an inspiration, not only to all of the other Latinos, the entrepreneurs, those doing the work, but for my daughters, first and foremost, who I show up for every day. So thank you so much for this opportunity. It's been an incredible journey.
Thank you so much. That's so beautiful. Elise, thank you. Debbie Gonzalez.
Thank you so much. I really just wanted to add my voice with a thank you. And I keep hearing, Jackie, the divine download, right? That opportunity where through Erica, and I see you, and the fact that we're co-authors on this book. Erica did the book, the Latinx, Latina in social workers, and through connecting with her and her generosity and her spirit, inspired me to have a desire to want to be in an anthology. And I kept saying yes. And I heard Jackie talk at the launch of the book, and that the divine download, the wording has stayed with me. And in saying yes, an email came through, and I saw the opportunity, and it was only, I misread it. I thought it said March, so I rushed to get my chapter together, and it wasn't till May. And I said, I already have it done, así que vamos a mandarlo. And I am sitting here both thrilled and not believing it, right? So as I hear all these wonderful stories, I'm still kind of pinching myself that my story had the value to be included. So anyway, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for sharing the space.
Oh my God. Oh, beautiful. You know what? We're all connected, right? And Erika Sandoval is here. She's the amazing leader of Latinas and Latinx in social work in New York, creating a movement, not only in New York, around the world, you know, with social workers, and just so beautiful. It's just so exciting. And I know that we don't have any other people who have raised their hands, but I will pick on someone to share the why. Why is this important? Randomly. And we like to ask Jay Rezai. He's ready for us. He's ready to share why it was important for you to share your story in this book.
So I think that it's important for people to share their stories so that others can learn from it and figure out ways to carve their paths based on what they've learned from others and what they can gain from hearing other stories and finding inspiration from that. Because there's usually, and there was for me, someone or some people that I used as role models to shape my path and help inspire me. And so I think this is an important platform and forum for those people to find that and to provide that.
That's so beautiful. I see Monica Ibarra raising her hand to share the why.
Goodness, I thought you had not seen it, and that's perfectly fine. All this beautiful space. Thank you so much.
See your magic. I see you.
Through my magic, you saw me. Right. The purpose and the intentionality for all of us is representation, to be seen, right? And this space where we are collective, we are this group of Latinos, we have this heritage of people who come together to really inspire and move the masses. What sat with me when I was at the United Nations was the fact that we could be the #5 GNP globally. That has weighed heavily in my heart and in my spirit of why am I not a part of that narrative to informing that progress, that little bit of nugget, a little breadcrumb that would make this beautiful topping on a corn of a tamale of something like that, right? Let me be in that tamalera and be a part of this message. So yeah, I shared a little story and it took a long time. I really went through several ideations of getting through that. And it was my son, my Afro-Latino son who empowered me. And I'm grateful. Thank you.
Beautiful representation, right? I often see our stories as this beautiful fabric that is weaved together, connected in a beautiful way to create this piece of art. And how beautiful is that representation and building that community. Erika Sandoval, welcome to the stage.
You know,
Straight to New York.
Straight from New York. I'm in Jersey right now. I just want to say, I wanted to really kind of go last in case that there was time, because I wanted to give space to all these beautiful authors that are here today. And Debbie, your words made me cry in my heart, because I think the importance of sharing our stories is that we can inspire others to share their narrative. And our voices, our stories, they matter. And we're inspiring so many future generations and beyond. And I didn't realize that I could be an author until I connected with Jackie during the pandemic. And it was so beautiful for her to help make 45 of us dream come true. And now it continues to just move masses. So when I saw the first book of Hispanic Star Rising, I was so in awe of each author that was there, and Claudia's work and Jackie's work. To be asked to be part of this, I couldn't believe that I was being invited either. And so, yeah, the imposter syndrome kicks in, but we all are so important. Each one of us is, and all of our stories are important, and we all matter. So Debbie, I am so happy you're here. And I know Hilda's here, and I see so many familiar faces, and to share space with all of you is such an honor, and I'm so humbled. So thank you to Claudia, and thank you to Jackie, and thank you to all of us for coming together as a collective and really making an impact for the future and for the people that are watching us. Thank you.
Thank you, Erika. Thank you so much for those beautiful words. I see Giselle Ortega raising her hands. I love it. Welcome to the stage.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Yes, like speaking is a little bit difficult for me, and I always like to write, but also like sharing my story. It wasn't that easy, but I decided to share my story because I want to inspire myself and others with similar journeys. My story is a little bit, I think it's a little bit different than others, and shows that sometimes the easy path is not the path and that we want to that we have to take. And I also want to show like the power of education. There are all those fears that maybe our personal story is not as impactful, but I think we all have our unique story, and that uniqueness make our story important. And I think like many people come here with a bachelor degree already, and they come here and they want to work here and work and based on the experience that they have, the background that they have, and they have a bag full of dreams. And then suddenly they found that people that don't guide them in the right way, and they feel like the bachelor and the experience that they got in their own country doesn't have the value that they think. And they are in that environment that maybe like, no, like if you are a dentist there, that you can be a dentist here. And I think it's important to teach these people that come here with those bachelor degrees that they're still the same person, and even that they are more powerful and brave because they are here in a new country with with a different language, and they just have to find the right people, and like maybe they had to study a little bit more, but they don't have to start from the beginning because the experience that they got in their country is as like have the same value and even more than like if they study here. Thank you.
That's right. Thank you. Thank you so much, because all of us, that come from other countries to pursue the American dream, and you have to be so brave to do that, to leave everything you knew behind, and that's powerful. Thank you so much. Carolina Guardiola Romo. We have Carolina, and then we have Christian Sani, and then we can, close it out so we can continue to inspire the world. Carolina?
Hi, everyone. So I'm part of the We're All Human and Hispanic Star team. So I'm one of the lucky persons that gets to read your stories. I am not personally an author, but I wanted to take this opportunity to tell you thank you. Thank you for believing in this project. Thank you for being part of this project. You guys are all the backbone of what the Hispanic Star stands for. And we are so, so proud. And you can count on all of our efforts to keep spreading the word, make sure that more people get to read your stories, more people get to find that there's more people like us, and they can get to be inspired as you are making us feel at the moment. So we were crying. That's why we had to be taking our cameras off every 5 seconds. But thank you so much for being part of this. Thank you so much for being this book, because this is what it really is. Like, you are really the authors. You're the masterminds behind making this a reality. So thank you so much, and congratulations to each one of you.
Thank you. That's beautiful, Carolina. Thank you. Christian?
Hola a todos. Hello, everyone. Can you guys hear me? Good. Yeah, to me, honestly, it's just an amazing opportunity. I can't tell you, just hearing everyone's story and journey and how much it resonates. I was born in Argentina. I came to the U.S. Very young age, and both my parents immigrated here, not even speaking English. And so just hearing that everyone's, just different story, coming in, like the individual who just shared about their father being an inspiration. That's a little bit about the story that I share in this book, but it's just an absolute honor. And just to hear each Hispano, my wife is Mexican, she's an educator, and just, she came to the U.S. as an immigrant, now she's, a director in the Irving Independent School District. I love everyone's story, and I think that's what's so powerful about hearing this is that each one of us has that unique journey and challenges that we've encountered. And as Hispanos, just throughout the world, I think it goes without saying how proud I am just to hear everyone overcome the challenges that they've come across and the things that they're learning and just the footprint that they're putting in the world. So thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. You know what? And I just want to remind you how monumental, huge this macro moment is, because you might see it, well, I was a contributing author to this book, but you know what? Out of everything that you can do to build a legacy, having your story in a book is the one thing that will live in the Library of Congress forever. In 200 years, someone will find Hispanic Stars, Volume 4, in a treasure box and will say, the stories are still relevant today. How powerful is that? And you'll have that permanent record in the Library of Congress. This is huge. And I want to invite all of you to continue to percolate and, self-manage, self-analyze, and self-explore how much more you can share of your story with your own book, with your own series, with the community. Go out and share that, with speaking engagements. Don't be afraid of, being open to do that, because that the only thing that could be on the other side is just inspiration and giving others the permission to dream the same way that you have in every vertical, in every industry, in every background. Do not ever underestimate the power of you having experienced something and the authority that gives you to pave the way for other people. I want to tell you that we are having a bestseller campaign for Hispanic Stars Volume 4. We've made it to every single one as an Amazon bestseller. So this will not be the exception. We declare that, right? I also want to tell you that we have just magic spreading everywhere. So please share the book link on Amazon with your network. Allow as many people in your network to read the stories, not just yours, but the other 82 that are featured. And if they want to buy the other volumes, now we have almost 400 stories shared. And what Debbie was saying, a divine download to me is an idea with an inspiration, an idea with an amazing feeling. And that's how this idea came to my heart to share with Claudia, and she believed in me and she trusted me with this idea. Now we get to pave the way for you and your stories and the many volumes that are coming out. And I also want you to stay tuned, because if you know someone inspiring like you in your community, please share the link of Volume 5, which will be coming out pretty soon. I really have nothing else to say but to thank you. And I will leave you with this phrase that my German teacher told me when I was 16 years old. He said, writing is an extension of your soul. So keep writing, keep extending your soul, keep sharing it with the community, because the community needs you. So with that, I want to thank We're All Human. I want to thank Hispanic Stars, the entire team. I want to thank my Fig Factor Media team. But most importantly, I want to thank all of you. And I don't want to cry because I cry so much because I'm so excited for this. But I want to thank all of you for saying yes, and for taking the time, and for writing your stories, and for being vulnerable and opening your heart. Remember that writing is an extension of your soul. And see you in the next edition of Hispanic Stars Rising, Volume 5.
And I just want to say thank you so much, Jackie, for your leadership. Thank you so much, everybody. I love the stories of this book. I read it, it's really unbelievable. And so thank you so much. Let's keep shining. This is the time for Latinos. It is happening. It is not going to happen. It is happening. And thank you so much, everybody. So let's keep shining. Together we can do it. Together we shine. Thank you so much, everybody. I love your stories. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Claudia. Thank you.